Testing.
All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. And welcome to Comm Week 2026, our 44th Annual Media and Communication Conference. I hope you all are having a great time. How many of you have been attending the program so far this week? All right, great. So this morning we continue with a panel headed by the director of the graduate program here, the Texas Southern University School of Communication, Dr. Moore. And before, I just want to let you know that the part of the conference, and I'm doing the job of the conference director. Dr. Obo. Say hello to Dr. Obo, the chair of the conference. I don't have his energy, so please share, Dr. All right, thank you very much. AI influence and the future of women in leadership. AI is a phenomenal, innovation that is transforming the globe, the universe, everything we do right now. There are no conference you attend today or any academy that is worth its salt that is not talking about AI and its impact in the way we produce knowledge and the way we present knowledge, whether it's from the creative people or people who do research. And so today we continue that, the impact of AI in the future of women leadership. Please welcome Dr. Moore and her guests.
So for us today, it's gonna be more of a conversation. So this is one of my closest friends and colleagues. I actually met her at TSU, through TSU, from my son, he's an alumni here from TSU. He graduated last spring. She was actually his counselor during COVID. So you can imagine what the students were going through during COVID. And so she and I had a conversation because at that time during COVID, a lot of the counselors, they reached out to the students to make sure that the students' mental was where it needed to be and to ensure that they were on track and staying active at the time because they really couldn't move around when they were on campus. So she and I spoke on the phone, found out that her family is from where I'm from. I'm originally from Shreveport, Louisiana. And so her family's from Shreveport. And that one conversation, we stayed on the phone for 2 hours. And so we have been connected ever since. And so how that all ties into our topic of discussion today is we have my friends and I, we always meet up and we discuss things that's going on, current events. If you guys are in my class or had taken me prior, you guys know I'm a stickler about current events. You need to know what's going on around you, especially if you are in, well, it doesn't matter what field you're in. You need to, everything directly affects you and how you do business, conduct business, how you carry yourself. You need to know what's going on around you. And so current events is like one of our topics we always discuss, and we always empower one another. So the purpose of this panel, it was more ladies who were going to be a part of this panel this year with me. But because of what's going on currently, one of my panelists, she couldn't make it because she actually is a government contractor. And right now, because of the government and what's going on with the shutdowns, the closeouts, and all of that, it's a possibility her job is in jeopardy. So she wasn't able to attend because one of her contracts she's applying for and have to stay active to make sure that everything is correct with her, with that particular project. So she couldn't attend. But my colleague, Raven Coleman, I'll let her introduce herself, and friend, she's actually here, and we're just gonna discuss some things that we want to empower the future, you guys, when it comes to discussions that we think that you should actually have with your friends and using those things and using the tools of AI to help you to create these different avenues and different entrepreneurships and ventures and even conversations that you have with your friends, how you can use this tool to be great. So, Raven, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Well, can we do it again? Good morning, everyone. Thank you, thank you. Like Dr. Moore said, my name is Raven Coleman. I currently am the Assistant Director for Tutorial Services at the University of Houston Clear Lake location. Prior to that, I also was the Director of the Alternative Teacher Certification Program at Lone Star College. Prior to that, I was prior to that, I was the assistant director for Upward Bound at Tougaloo College, and prior to that, I was an ECA here at Texas Southern University, where I was able to meet Dr. Moore, and yeah, that's me.
So, to start off, I initially entitled the panel Control plus She. And so it was like a spinoff of the Control Alt, right? So using AI, which is an innovation that deals with the internet and all those things, it was like the Control plus She is like we're taking those things and putting it together to show the power that you can have as a woman, as a man, as anyone when using these tools. So, in saying that, Raven, I want you to kind of tell the students and my colleagues how you see AI and how you can empower yourself using these tools to be like successful and great. And some of the conversations we have on using this tool to help you with, because she didn't say that, she also has a nonprofit. So she and I both have a nonprofit. How do you use this tool to help you to develop some of the programs that you have with your nonprofit and even with work?
Well, I'm gonna start with work
Okay.
because due to today's current political climate, if you are up with current events, you know that a lot of grants funding DEI related projects or even grants in general have been cut by this current administration. And so, at my institution, well, at UHCL, we found ourselves in a situation to where we normally have a roughly 35 to 45 tutors on staff, and that's also including embedded tutors who are in the classroom. But due to these cuts of grants, we are now down to 20 staff members overall. And so even with the few of the grants that our institution applied for prior to the current political administration's cuts for grants, Texas also had their cut for DEI initiatives. And so we had to go back and look at a lot of the verbiage that was stated in these said grants and change a lot of things so that we could continue to get some of those funds in order to finance our student workers as well as our departments. And many of the students like, well, that doesn't affect me. If you're looking in the realm of entrepreneurship, a lot of entrepreneurs also apply for these said grants to either start their business, maintain their business, or even with their day-to-day life as it pertains to business, right? And so due to a lot of these cuts that are not aligned with DEI, there are still additional cuts to these said grants. So utilizing AI to change the verbiage on these said grants, because we're going to be very realistic and honest. I know I'm not the master of everything, and I know that sometimes my words do not word. Maybe some of yours as well does not word. And so utilizing an AI tool to help you find the right verbiage in order to either guarantee the funding and or if not guarantee the said funding from whatever institution or outlet that you're applying for with this said grant, it even gives you the opportunity utilizing AI to change that said verbiage for even consideration. Because a lot of times when these said grants consider you, they might not have the funding to push you through, but that is an opportunity and a networking, networking opportunity for you and that said entity like say, I don't have the said funding or you did not make the cut to receive this funding, but here's another list of opportunities that you or your initiative that you're pushing for your venture can possibly utilize.
Right. Okay. Well said. Well said. And we're doing that here too. A lot of, well, all over. I think with universities, colleges, we all have to go back and make changes to a lot of the information that was put out. Like currently, you guys may not know, but a lot of here on campus, I know it's at your school too. We have to go back and change all of our work in Canvas and make it ADA accessible. So a lot of those changes, we're using the AI tool to go in to help us to create those images and those pictures. I was just explaining to Raven, there's so many times that I'll sit down with some of my friends, and we discuss like ideas or business ventures, and we just go straight to AI and use it to help tailor some type of business or even marketing, or even just, I mean, it's the opportunities and the things that you can do with AI is endless. But you have to know how to use it ethically. But
Well, to kind of scale back, a lot of you probably have ideas of how you want to start a business, but might not know how to start.
oh
You can
yeah,
utilize AI and just ask them, I have an idea on this said business. Give me a business plan or business plan ideology on how I can fully roll out this said idea. So before you even get to the finish line,
yes,
like Dr. Moore was saying, you can start at the beginning, and AI will literally give you the steps that are needed, as well as ideas, as well as presentations. I'm not going to lie to you. I had to provide my boss a presentation before I left yesterday, and it had to come from our annual report. I'm not going to lie to you and say I'm going to sit there and read the annual report like again after I typed it up last year. So what I did was I copied my section, put it in AI, and asked it to summarize everything, all the key points from my section of tutoring, embedded tutoring, as well as academic student referrals, and create me a one slide summary. And it literally jotted out all the information that was needed and that he was looking for, if not more, for me to just make real nice and pretty on a PowerPoint slide. So utilizing that can also help you in with your classes, in a sense of how can you organize your presentation, what is needed for your presentation. I know many of your professors provide you with rubrics that you're needing for grading. You can put that rubric in said AI and ask it to help you outline your presentation aligned to the rubric in order for you to get the best grade possible.
I agree. She keeps going back to school, but I want to go back to my thing is I want you guys to understand that you can use AI so you can be great. So, by saying that, a lot of you guys are here because you are in the School of Communications. So, when developing yourself, I think that you guys should use this as a tool where you can create a place and a space for yourself and start creating a portfolio, which is something that you definitely need when you walk out of these doors while you're taking the opportunities coming to the SOC Comm week. And maybe there's something that you had an idea on. I know for me, in the grad program, if some of the graduate students come to me and say they want to put on an event and they want it to be hosted and invite the students, that's definitely a way for you to, because before we can even give you guys, take that idea that you have, there's always going to be asked, where's your proposal? So if you're creating these types of things when you present to someone, we want you guys to understand, like, okay, when you're with your friends, sometimes take the time to start masterminding, create some ideas and some places and some spaces where you can use those opportunities so it can be monetary. So it can also be a place where you can use that information to create, to put a space or a placeholder for your portfolios. But we definitely see the opportunities for you to do great things using AI. And so the whole concept, when it came down to the girl talk, the control plus she, was like, hey, a lot of times we have to take those times when you're with your friends and you guys are having conversations. It's time to start having those conversations about being great and using these tools so you can use them to help you to be great and move forward and build yourself. So not just for school, that's a plus, but also so you can start developing yourself. You guys are at a time where everything that you do, you can elevate yourself easy. But it's about taking that time to develop yourself and use the tools that's available to you for you to be that great person, to be that great individual. And so find the time and the space to do those things. What do you have?
Well, I was gonna say, just to add, I know she keeps getting on me about talking about school, but I'm saying utilize this ground as a practice ground for whatever you're trying to
Yes.
do before you graduate, right? If you start practicing it and utilizing this technology now, by the time you graduate, you'll be, if not a master of that said craft of utilizing AI to help tweak your things, you will have more base level knowledge than a lot of actual individuals in the workplace currently. And so to kind of go into like the nonprofit realm, my nonprofit basically focuses on helping high school students basically apply to college, preferably HBCUs, because I'm a two-time HBCU graduate. So HBCUs have a special place in my heart.
Mine too.
And so with that being said, when I did my initial rollout of my business back in 21, I was on cloud nine. Everything was great. I'm going to be very, very successful because this is what I said. But when I hit that wall, because I was the only one doing everything, it got very discouraging. It got overwhelming and very discouraging. And that's me just being honest with you. Because, you hear a lot of people talk about being an entrepreneur, starting your business, but they don't also talk about the other side of it where it is overwhelming, where you are not seeing the results that you feel that you should see in a certain time frame, right? And so utilizing AI allowed me to kind of take a step back, and in partnership with my current church, Fifth Ward Missionary Baptist Church, I'm gonna throw my little one out there. With my church, I was able to kind of scale down what I initially started with and push it out for the students in my church. And it actually allows me to refine a lot of things that I was going and providing to students that say, when I was in partnership with like their parents and they actually paid to utilize my services, right? So with that being said, AI can help you with your dream, but it also can help you scale back for the actual population size in which you're serving. Because being an entrepreneur, again, can be very overwhelming, can have its negative toes, but utilizing these tools will take a lot of their stress out, especially if it's just you doing your business.
Perfectly. You said that. You said that well. Okay. So, what do you think about women being underrepresented in tech leadership? How do you think does AI kind of do you think that that will change because of the innovation of AI? Honestly.
Okay, and I'm gonna be very honest right now. I think that women in a lot of leadership positions are underrated overall. That's just my personal opinion. Um, but with I don't necessarily seeing it replacing women in leadership because as a black woman, I'm already a double minority, right?
Right.
So being a double minority allows me to see certain things in different atmospheres than say my counterparts who are not, say, a black woman, right? So with that being stated, I think that people have this unrealistic fear of said AI. I like to compare this said fear that they have like that faculty staff or even just administration and corporations have with AI is similar to where, and you remember like in the early 2000s when the internet was
Oh yes.
coming to boom and they was like the world's going to end, it's going to blow up. I think that's the same way to equate the said fear of AI. It's not going anywhere. It's just going to evolve. So as individuals, especially as women, we need to learn how to leverage it, utilize it, as well as utilize it, but also gain as much knowledge on how to use it.
Yes.
Because that will actually put you in a different atmosphere than a lot of your counterparts. Because I know you hear a lot of talk about AI and a lot of push for AI, but the reality of corporations, institutions utilizing it is literally 0.02%.
Right. Right. I agree. And so, in saying that, with the leveraging it, I do agree. That's why I was like, at this time, that's why I explained to my students, once you really start mastering it, you'll be going out into the career force on a whole nother level. Because now when we're looking at the hiring process on our side, um, we're asked now for career readiness, and a part of you guys' career readiness for us when we're preparing you guys to go into the workforce, that's one of the things that they're looking for, that you guys are career ready, meaning that you know when you go into these work atmospheres, you know how to use AI. You might not master it, but you know how to use the tools when presented. That's almost like when you go into a business and you don't know how to use Excel, and that's your job. And so if you don't know how to use Excel, and some jobs they'll even put it to the, I mean, some in many ways it'll be a point where they'll start testing you on it, because that's what happened. That's a way to block you from getting a position or a promotion, because you don't know. So when you guys see these different certificates, free certificate trainings, I would advise you guys to take it. And a lot of you, they're offered in LinkedIn. And I know a lot of us, if you've taken 1315 or even 1321, I know many of my colleagues, we do require our students to sign up for LinkedIn. So if you're signing up with your LinkedIn account, you can take some of those certificate classes and actually finish. And those certificate classes will show when employees see you listed that you have that training. So it's best to have it and to know it. I mean, you don't have to master it, but definitely know how to use those tools. So when it comes for the empowerment piece for women, utilizing it, and even, I'm not going to say that it'll replace us, but it's best that we do know how to use it, in my opinion.
I'm going to say, realistically and statistically, you can Google if you don't believe me, women are the highest educated in the country,
Yes.
Black women specifically, right? And with that being said, we're still
The paid the
paid
less.
the less, underrepresented,
President.
and even in certain spaces where we are the minority, we still have to deal with certain microaggressions, certain forms of
Say it.
certain forms of things that we normally wouldn't have to deal with, say, in our own settings, right? And so, with that being said, we push and push for additional certifications because at the end of the day, people
Proving
can't.
ourselves.
Besides proving yourself, people can't take away what you know. You know what you know, right?
Right.
No one knows what you know but you. And I know that sounds very baseline, but with these said certifications, with your degrees, you are already entering a field to where you are more intelligent. I'm going to be very transparent than, say, your supervisor when you go into these said job settings. And that is intimidating for people who do not have that said knowledge or said skills as you do, right? And we live in a society where you can't just have one job if you are planning on being a millionaire. So we're going to, oh, y'all looking at me, y'all didn't know that? Y'all have to have more than one job in order to be a millionaire and maintain seven. Okay. All right. Okay.
They know now.
in if you plan on just having a 9 to 5 and you think you're gonna be a millionaire, you're gonna hit the lottery, that's possibly your only avenue. But marketing yourself and being able to be marketable is based upon these said certifications. And I know she's talked about LinkedIn. Google has multiple certifications. Harvard even has
Yes.
free certifications. Penn State, a lot of these Ivy League institutions have free certifications for you guys, right? And I'm here to tell you, you are going to need them, especially in today's work environment, where a lot of the individuals that look like you are being fired because they look like you, right? So how are you going to market yourself and leverage yourself in today's political climate when they're already trying to get rid of you? Does that make sense?
That's right. Okay. No, that was real. Now these are the conversations that I was talking about that we typically have. Like this is a reality for educated Black women. These are the conversations and the topics that we typically have with one another, because we have to empower, encourage, influence We get on each other. We definitely, hey, I saw this certain, she's, without exaggeration, right now, Harvard is offering a free AI certification training. Now, how long it runs, I don't know. But you definitely, they are offering these things. But these are the conversations that we typically have with one another. And these are the conversations that I charge you guys with to have with your other friends and your colleagues, on how to better yourself and how to. I mean, now I see odds going back to, the news and what's going on around you guys. Culturally, a lot of people are using. We were having a discussion about using AI as a therapist. Like, they're talking to AI for therapy.
Don't do that, y'all.
Please don't. But that is something that, because people are having full blown conversations with AI. But that's just some of the things that are currently going on. But you do have to use it and have these friends and where you guys communicate on how to better yourself using these tools. And so that's typically what we talk about all the time. And so, where you want to go with that?
Oh, I was just gonna add, being successful, and yes, talking about utilizing AI, make sure that whomever you surround yourself with, I'm not gonna necessarily say is like-minded. Either they're like-minded or they're where you're attempting to be. And what I mean when I say that is you want people to challenge you, but as well as keep you grounded. And so when I say that, having these said conversations with my friends, with people that I know want to see me succeed, they give me gems all the time. They give me gems, they give me resources, as well as different ways I can make additional money or market myself, right? And we can talk about AI, but also you still need that human component in addition to said AI. Does that make sense?
Elaborate.
Okay.
Elaborate.
Going back to the example you gave about an individual who decided to utilize AI for therapy, ended up killing his girlfriend.
Right.
Right. Yeah, very. I know, right? And
Football
so, and so, with that being said, is I don't think that the social aspect of counseling, therapy, and psychology should be left to an automated artificial intelligence system. That's just my personal opinion. You still need that humanistic counterpart to hold you accountable, to truly know and grasp where you are mentally and emotionally. Because today you can be on an extreme high, happy-go-lucky, you and your boo are in great places, and then later tonight y'all break up and you don't care about anything. And so the humanistic component is very important to serve for a gauge where you are mentally and emotionally, right? So that's just my 1-2.
Okay. One more question. Let me see. Many students lack exposure to ethical, empowering uses of AI. What would you suggest they would need to do in order to incorporate all those things together when using it?
I believe that no matter what industry you decide to go in, no matter if it's a service industry, if you're dealing with people or providing any type of resources to people, whatever you decide to do, I think that as a person, no matter race, creed, religion, sex, you need to check your own personal biases. We all have our said biases, but we need to check what those may be because they can hinder you from fully being successful, no matter if you're utilizing AI or not. Because by checking your biases, it's a tone of morality, right? Everyone's morals aren't the same. So for my master's is in counseling psychology. We have our own set of legality, code of ethics that we have to follow. We can't do harm to anyone. We have to understand what confidentiality is. We have to make sure that our clients or patients or whomever we're advocating for understands what confidentiality is. There's a whole list of ethics in the set of realm of counseling that you have to know, right? So knowing whatever avenue that you're going, newscasting, so on and so forth, what form of ethics do you have to follow? I suggest you know those like the back of your hand, but also check your own said biases, because artificial intelligence does not have any biases. Whatever you put in there is going to spew back out, right? So as the keymaster in a sense. It is your responsibility to know where you fall short instead your beliefs of other individuals.
Okay, good deal. Okay. So, in closing, because we're gonna go ahead and wrap up with using AI for entrepreneurship for your business, for tying it together with work, how would you say branding yourself using your AI because it's now your bot? So I know that it pretty much does. Did you name yours yet? You name your AI yet?
So yes and no.
Okay.
So I don't use ChatGPT. I hate it.
Okay.
But I do use the Google extension of
Yes.
Monica
Okay.
AI. So her name is Monica, and so I just call her Monica. Call her
Okay.
Monica.
Okay.
But utilizing different AI tools is really how I leverage myself. I don't just use her because
Okay. Exactly.
even in Canva, they have updated to where you now can utilize their AI bot to create your marketing tools and graphics things to
Right.
that such, and that such. So for me, I utilize AI literally every day
Yeah.
pertaining to when I create my flyers to send out to my students about upcoming events that we have, when I create my invitations as it pertains to certain events that I have for my nonprofit,
Right.
when it pertains to sending out emails or even communicating with partners and possible future sponsors for any avenue. It goes for my job and or my own business.
Right.
I utilize the AI tool to the best of my ability in which I know. And
Mm-hmm.
so that goes back to getting those additional certifications so that way you can also leverage what you know, but also kind of create your own business utilizing AI. Like so
Right.
for me, AI allows me to do numerous things as it pertains to my job, but also outside of my job.
Okay. All right. So building sustainability, your mentorship ecosystems, um, shift leadership power structures, all of those things are entwined when it comes to you utilizing the tool and being ethical when you're utilizing the tool. And you definitely see success. You've been successful using it, right?
Per the president's state of the college last semester,
Okay.
the prior year, which was my second year at UH, second or first year at UH,
Mm-hmm.
the numbers for students that have utilized the Student Success Center as well as tutoring was the highest that they had seen within the past 7 or 8 years, per the president's.
Okay. Awesome.
Thank
Y'all
you.
clap it up.
And it was nothing but AI.
This is so, like I said, overall, I just suggest that you guys make sure that when you are having these types of conversations, that you are surrounded around by people or surrounded with people who iron sharpens iron. So you definitely need to make sure that your groups, and I always tell my students, you might have your party group, but then you have your group that's in class. Make sure that you're surrounding yourself around someone that encourages you, that empowers you, that wants you to be your best and do your best. And then you guys also always share ideas and come together. And this could be a tool where you guys can create something significant, something big, something great if you use it and use it the right way. So that was the purpose of Control Plus She. And
I said I didn't like it. I did. I think that's what I said. Because there are so many additional AI
it
tools
is.
out there, in my personal opinion, that are better than ChatGPT. Um, what kind of phone you have? You don't mind me asking? Okay, boom. So in my mind, because I think of ChatGPT as the Android. I'm sorry for you Android users. It is what it is. I think of ChatGPT. I think of ChatGPT more of the Android versus, say, you have Monica, you have Cloud. There are so many additional tools that do way more than ChatGPT. And so I'm going to throw you a challenge out there, and anyone else who's just using ChatGPT, utilize and try
Others.
some additional other AIs that are out there, and find the one that works best for you. I don't like ChatGPT personally. Like, I love my Monica. I can do any and everything from create pictures to all of it. Even though I know you can kind of do the same thing with ChatGPT, to me, it just has more features that I need to utilize. Does that make sense? So that's why.
And it also depends on what you're actually doing. So, with some things, just like she said, like it's Gamma, there are so many different platforms that you can use that's going to give you exactly what you need. And especially for you guys that are creatives, you definitely need to utilize more than just ChatGPT, especially to get what you're looking for when it comes to displaying your work and getting the best content that you want to put out there. Right. Oh, yeah.
So, Copilot is so, okay. Let me backtrack. So there are a lot of, again, different tools that you can utilize. It goes back to what you are utilizing it for. I believe that Copilot is good when it pertains to anything Microsoft related. As for helping you understand how to utilize Excel, to get it to do certain things to that nature. But it all goes back to you. So for me, as it pertains to both my job as well as my nonprofit, I have a lot of like infographics. I have a lot of information, things to that nature. And so the AI tool that I use helps me not only minimize a lot of those things, but also create. Does that make sense? So each AI tool has different usage. So going back to just using ChatGPT for one and all, like trying to make it a one fits all, it's not. So utilizing Copilot for what you need it for as it pertains to Microsoft. You can even go to Canva. You know what Canva is. Okay, go to Canva and use their AI to create what you're looking for. You can use Claude to go in and do a lot of additional. It's a lot of additional tools out there. So whatever you're needing, utilize that tool that best fits it. My only thing with ChatGPT is that a lot of people try to use ChatGPT as a one fits all, and if that's what you're using it for, you're doing yourself a disservice. Does that make sense? Okay. Did I answer your question? Oh, okay. Monica, you get 40 I think it's 40 entries a day. I think with ChatGPT, you get like for the free side, you get I want to say like 10, 5 to 10. Copilot, if you already have Microsoft, then that's automatically for you, and I think the institution provides you with that.
It does.
So yeah, you can utilize that. Canva. Canva, you can use their AI service as much as you want, unless you get the premium, and you can still utilize it for premium things, but you can utilize their AI service for as much as you want. Now, me, I do pay for my Monica, for my additional features every month. It's like $27.99, $25.99, but because I use it for a variety of things. So realistically, there are some free. Can I think of them on top of my head? No, but but I know seriously. I know that there's only some free because like how many of you have Pinterest in here? Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Talk to my people. My people that you use Pinterest. Don't just use Pinterest to find them cute outfits or to find out your destination platform. Pinterest helps you with everything. Even so, I'm also in my PhD program, and so with my PhD program, it helps me find word phrases. I have a whole dissertate this. It's something else, but I'm just telling you, dissertate this page that helps me with resources as well as free AI that I can utilize to help with my qualitative study, right? So I'm saying that to also use Pinterest to find different AI tools that benefit you, and they'll let you know which ones are paid for, which ones are free. I'm just saying you use what you have that is free, but to help you find out other information. Does that make sense? You're so very
See, this
welcome.
should have been a AI certificate training class. Because ultimately that's what the certificate training classes do. They'll teach you, they'll show you how to prompt correctly, what works best, which platform works best. So yeah, someone back.
So going back to what I said initially, that was a good question. So going back to what I said, it depends on the person. And you can use anything unethically. Though it doesn't necessarily have to be AI, but it goes back to you because you
Right.
are the person that's putting the prompt in. Does that make sense? So if you are already on some copy paste plagiarism outside of AI, that's who you're going
Gonna
to be when you use
exactly.
AI, right? So for me, I don't like to. I like to read before I copy and paste because, and what I mean when I say that is, when you read a lot of things, you will understand. You will understand that a
Comprehension.
lot of people don't even write a lot of literature that you're copying and pasting for your professors. So taking that out, utilizing AI to read, like okay. So for me, I like taking information for when I teach my psych class. I like taking their information and I like for my AI to spit it out as if they're explaining this information to a fifth grader, right? Because once what I've learned is that when you, I'm not gonna say, I don't like saying dumb down, but when you use layman's terms to explain anything to a fifth grader, anybody will be able to remember and maintain that said
And retain.
information. Retain, thank you, and retain that said information. So going back to the portion of your question when it talks about ethics and using things ethically, it goes back to that individual. Does that make sense? So for me, I don't like because some people can't read. They make okay.
Right. So from I think
But are there any other questions?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, well, just to just to close it up, I know you have been through many institutions. So let me just
I know you
deviate
did it.
for a minute. Let me just deviate from AI. What career advice could you give to our students, just as a summary, as a recap?
Oh, okay. So the best career advice I will give you is that it's gonna be a story. So my bachelor's, I went to Jarvis Christian College located in East Texas. It's a smaller HBCU. My bachelor's is in history. And I remember on graduation day when I got my history degree, this person I was dating at the time told me that I couldn't do anything with my history degree, right? I couldn't do nothing. So I was like, oh, well, maybe you're right. Maybe I just could teach, right? So after graduating with my bachelor's, I taught U.S. history for like 2 to 3 years, and I was like, this cool, but I just don't like the bureaucracy of public education. That's just me being very honest and transparent. And so then I went to Alabama A&M and got my master's in counseling psychology. Upon being at Alabama A&M, the associate provost at that time took me under her wing literally and showed me the way of higher ed, and I fell in love with higher ed and have been in higher ed ever since. And even with getting my master's degree, I learned while in classes a lot of things that my history degree prepared me for. It actually put me on a different wavelength than say my counterparts that were in that same class with me, because I understood the time frame of a lot of things that we were discussing in class. And even though you give someone material, you still have to understand the time frame of when these things came
Came
about,
about.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I said all that to say, yes, I have been to numerous institutions and had upper management, directorial positions before the age of 35, which a lot of my counterparts cannot say the same. So, with that being said, nobody can tell you what you can and can't do with your degree
Right.
or with your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you are the one who basically spearheads the life that you want.
Right.
I'm born and raised here in Houston, Texas. I went to Forest Brook Senior High School, which is now North Forest. Oh, well, it's actually Smiley, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. And from going for the people that are from Houston know what it's like on the north side, Homestead. Don't you start. But being able to grow up in that environment, not only go to school, but to thrive in school and to continue to make my mark, nobody can tell you who you will be. Does
Right.
that make sense? This is your stepping stone. This is your life. Your decisions will impact the life that you have.
Exactly.
So a lot of y'all don't even really know the life that you want to have. And this is the time and the space to really sit back and think about what type of life do you want, from the smallest things to where you want to stay, where you want to work, how do you want your everyday life to look? Do you want to clock in? What do you want your life to look like? Because you're going to blink, and next thing you know, you're going to be 28 still trying to figure stuff out. So that's what I got to give.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Coleman.
You got it?
You all can stay there.
Oh, you want us to stay over?
Yeah, I'll come up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you very much for coming. And you're going to hold on after this because we have a very, we have our next event coming up in a minute. But Reverend Coleman, thank you so much. We have a certificate for you as a presenter. And it's a gift